Hello, folks. It looks like we're live. Thanks for joining me today. Guitar and improvisation live stream. It's December 7, 2025. I'm gonna start with a little play in here, and yeah, love to hear from you. And just say hello. Let me know where you're from and what you've been up to. Thanks for joining me today. Playing around a little bit there on the changes to Beautiful Love. Ephraim, hello. Thanks for joining us today. So I put out a little video yesterday on Mele Kaliki Maka. So not sure if folks got to see that or not, but I think a fun arrangement for folks to play on. Hello, Sabran. How's it going? Welcome. So yeah. As I was preparing that arrangement, I was watching some little talks and things on Hawaiian music and some of the history behind instruments that were introduced there, and some of the ways that they started learning how to play these instruments and things. So it's really interesting as as an educational type channel. Content creator, thinking about how do we learn, and that's been something that's really interesting to me as I've been learning over the years. So apparently they just did not have a lot of instruction, or maybe almost any at all. So oftentimes what they would do with the instruments is tune them to a single chord, all the open strings, and I believe that's where you get the slack key kind of guitar playing style. So that was pretty interesting to me. And then as I was trying to think, when I was doing this arrangement, do I want to do chord, melody, or single notes? And I don't know. I didn't really want to do single notes because I just wanted to put a little more into it. And make it just kind of a cool arrangement. And I looked online, and someone had already done a really pretty nice lesson on single notes. So I thought, well, maybe we'll do these little harmonic pairs. And I was thinking, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, Hawaiian music, harmonic pairs, thirds and sixths, make a lot of sense. So that, so I thought I would harmonize that little orchestral part from the intro and the Bing Crosby. And, of course, we have these little half-step movements, right, with the notes. So it's sort of getting at the slide. So I started learning a little bit about slide guitar and its origins. And that was pretty fun. I think it came as the history of what I learned about it was that there was a railroad tie or railroad nail or something like that kind of fell on some strings or dropped on some strings, and I forgot his name, but he was saying how he kind of liked that sound, so he started playing around with taking it on the strings, and then he used different materials and stuff. But kind of the takeaway is that if you're working on some of the constraints of a bar, right, you can go on one fret, right, over, and that works if you're just using a single piece of metal or glass or whatever. So then they start doing these little angles, so you can get the major six and the minor six, right? So they can do that, and then sometimes they'll even go, like, I think they call it a reverse slant. So I built in these moments into it where you go, right? So you have that actual minor seventh, so slightly different interval, but mostly sixths and thirds. So as I was thinking, why would I choose these thirds and sixths all over the place? Why is that why is that what comes to mind when arranging harmonic pairs and stuff? And I thought, well, yeah, it has sort of its origins in Hawaiian music, and in general, thirds and sixths, of course, do harmonize nicely for vocals or anything. So it was kind of fun to check out and learn something a little new about Hawaiian music, which I check in with Hawaiian music every now and again because I play ukulele and stuff. All right, we've got a question. Please give me guitar. I can't afford. I'm guessing you mean I can't afford. Can't afford, but I love music. So maybe I should assume you're meaning can't afford. So, I like the brand Ibanez because I think they kind of have a decent, value for money, kind of thing. So, but they have a whole range, of guitars that are, I would say pretty affordable versus, guitars that more like of an investment. But if you are playing gigs and stuff, you probably want to put, you probably want to invest a bit, but if you're kind of playing around, just having fun with some arrangements and a little improv and stuff at home, there are some really good quality guitars, for even a few $100 or less than $1,000 that are really nice and enjoyable. So, okay. All right, I got a request for more music. Good morning. Good morning, Amos. Good to see you. Yeah, play some more music. let's play a little bit more on Beautiful Love here. Folk guitars. Yeah, so I have ukuleles back there. I've got different types of ukuleles, steel string guitar, nylon string guitar, different stuff like that. All right, well, yeah, let's do a little more playing here. Maybe later I'll change my tune or change the backing track or something. I'll do a little more playing. So a couple little things doing there. Playing around with some, a couple of concepts, I guess, towards the end there, which you might think of as cross picking, which is kind of a cool thing that we can do and do it really in different genres too. But essentially you create a little bit of a pattern, I think typically like 3 strings kind of pattern. And so one thing that's kind of cool about that is you can get these little triad groups, or it doesn't even have to be a triad, where you could just do, and kind of go get a kind of nice, easy, reliable pattern in the right hand, just kind of like a down, up, down, up. And you'll hear like Matheny doing this. You'll hear, bluegrass folks doing this. It's kind of a cool thing. So maybe try that out. So I was playing around with just doing some adaptation to the changes throughout it. All right, let's see. Yeah, my volume is coming through. Okay. All right. So yeah, we'll do a little more playing as we go through. I've got a couple of backing tracks here set up. I'm trying to grow the library of those as we go here. But we'll do you know, a little play and improv on some of the tunes I've been releasing on the channel. So the last, I think, I may be at a year now. I'm not sure. I've been releasing a like kind of melody lesson video or chord melody lesson video on Saturday mornings. So, and if you become a supporting member of the channel here on YouTube, you actually get an early release to that video. That is if I don't get behind with the project, but most often they come out probably at least 12 hours, and probably rarely 24 hours, but somewhere before the tune comes out. So I'll line up Tune Up, which is a fun tune to play. But I did a chord melody arrangement on that. And you can, hopefully I'm not. Hear a little buzz coming through, but. But the dominant 7 sharp 11. Okay, this one's got the 9 in there. This chord, this voicing, but you could voice it like this as well. Okay, got a question. I got a question here. Welcome. So yeah, the backing tracks are. I'm not currently selling those individually, but on the on my my website, as part of my member area, I do have some sound slices where you can jam along with these same backing tracks. So that's a way of doing that, but I haven't quite sorted out, you know, the issues with selling backing tracks. You know, so my my website is an educational, you know, website on improv and all that. So the backing track there is you know, it's more of kind of a learning type thing. Although it, you know, could be used for that if I sold them as well. But I may at some point do that, because I had a lot of requests for the arrangements that I put out, the PDF arrangements, but there are legal issues with that, you know, with copyright and stuff. So so what I've done is I've gone through this service from Hal Leonard, and they, you know, I submit the arrangement, and then they distribute it. So I have made those available on my more recent videos, and I think they do have an option for the MP3s as well. So maybe I'll begin doing that. But yeah, I'm trying to stay. You know, I want to stay within the law, you know, when it comes to those kinds of things, and I want to be respectful of the copyright holder. You know, a lot of the folks that write the tunes that I am arranging, you know, a lot of respect and admiration for them, and I say a lot because I don't know a lot about every single composer, but I do try to learn a little bit about them. But you know, I have, I guess I could safely say all of them. I have a lot of respect for what they do, so I don't want to take their, you know, copyright material and you know, work around their royalties and stuff. So So I'm really just doing those PDFs as a kind of a courtesy thing, because they only pay the person submitting the arrangement only like 10%. So that's just kind of more of a that kind of thing. So I may do that at some point with the PDFs as well, or not the PDFs, but the MP3s. Okay. So let's see. Let's do a little maybe playing on tune up. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about the changes. So we got a 2, 5 in D major, 2, 5 in C major, and 2, 5 in B flat. Okay, and then we start to go back to 2, 5 in D, but it kind of takes a little detour on the B flat to 5, 1, B flat, and then onto the 5 chord. So it's almost like it gets a little bit embedded between the 2, 5. All right, so we'll do a little jamming on that. So one thing that's been kind of cool to do with these two tunes is, talk a little bit about minor versus major, and the 2, 5, 1 in major versus 2, 5, 1 in minor, and then also to talk about the differences between minor and major as a whole. So when you take a key, let's say like D major, we have really the basic resolution in the harmony itself, right? So you have fa and T tend to resolve to mi and do. So it's all kind of right there in the key. That basic resolution from the tonic to or the dominant to the tonic. So minor is different because if you have a key signature, you really only have the that resolution in major. So when we have key of 1 flat and we're trying to make the D a tonic, okay, and we have the dominant, all of a sudden the C sharp is not part of the key signature, right? So that tells us right away, that we need to adapt the notes sometimes. So minor tends to be very dynamic and just kind of these little shifts and these little movements, and a lot of those shifts happen above sol. So you could have, which works nice for the dominant 7, so like a D harmonic minor. So change the name of the tune down. Yeah. And I'm, I do look these things up and try to figure out, what as far as copyright, what can be done, what can't. But I'm not a lawyer, but I'm also just a small a small force in the world. So I can't really afford to get into trouble with anybody coming after me for stuff. So but let me know what you folks are into and what you're up to and doing. Minor in the same key. So in the tune will go a lot from major 7 to minor 7 in the same key. Yeah, so you'll see certain patterns emerge. So if you're in, let's say we're in the key of D, since we've been talking a lot about D. It's funny. I almost get like stuck in these keys. Because now that I think of it, Male Kalikimaka is also in D, so it's been kind of like a D major, D minor kind of series of videos here, I guess. And then the bridge for Georgia on My Mind is also in D minor. So okay. Let's see, what was I getting at? Okay, so oftentimes in tunes, let's say we're in D major. Yeah, sometimes the tonic will go minor for sure, but it's very, very common for the 4 chord to go to minor this happens in all, I was pretty much all well-known genres, including jazz. So you can have like a minor or major seven, and then you can have a minor major seven, which kind of sounds cool too. And then we do get other progressions where you might go to almost have like a 2-5 kind of motion from the four chord. So the four chord becomes minor, and then you get the flat seven. So that happens a lot in various tunes. And in this particular tune, yeah, so when it goes from the C major 7 to the C minor 7, when improvising, for me, personally, it's kind of more like a shift over to another key center, right? So when I'm on this tune in C major, I've just had a 2-5 in C major, so that's just all part of the key of no sharps, no flats. And then when it goes to the C minor, it really has more to do with where it's headed to next, what I'm gonna kind of be working with. So I know that it goes to a 2-5 in B flat. So then I have an idea of that note collection. You might call it like a parent scale. And when you have certain chords inside of your note collections, then if you work at using arpeggios, or what I like to say is just have an awareness of the arpeggios as tones that you can land on that are going to outline the harmony a little bit or agree with the chordal player. Then you can play the C minor 7 arpeggio, but I would recommend just really having awareness of where does that sit in the key of 2 flats. So you don't really need to think like mode all the time, but just have a general awareness of, okay, I'm in a key center. It's the key of 2 flats. I'm on C minor. And just have a general, it just almost just aural awareness and like sort of a visual spatial awareness of where the consonances are and where maybe the dissonances, the parts that don't fit that exact chord, but feel like maybe a little outside. And just training at that, I really like to emphasize, especially on this channel, just getting to do, really the basics of music and basics of harmony. I think really can do a lot. With just a little bit of knowledge of how the key centers work and chords in those key centers, and so I kind of get the impression sometimes that folks are wanting to skip over all of that, but those are really kind of foundational type things that just allow us all to function in all genres, really. I think I mentioned in the past, sometimes I'll do a gig, backing up singer something, and then oftentimes they want you to play them on with something, and you know everybody who's playing this kind of like maybe not jazz gig wants to play like a jazz standard or a fusion tune or something like that. So I think as musicians, we're just interested in some of the mechanics of how it all works. So no matter maybe what style you ultimately play, I was really surprised to kind of hear. I think I was watching Steve Vai do an interview or talking, and his level of awareness of chord scales is really good, excellent, or thorough. So yeah, I think just hopefully that wasn't too long of a rant on that, but yeah, just kind of being in music and being in understanding the circle of fifths and how the chords relate. So hopefully that answers your question. Thanks, folks, for joining. Hey, Jeffrey. And Sobran, thanks for being here, everybody. Amos, Ephraim, Edwin. Yeah, so it's kind of like you get sort of a dual nature because go from C major into minor. All right, so maybe we'll do maybe a little more playing on this tune a bit. Hope the sound and the mix are going okay. This is kind of work in progress. But yeah, I did some testing this morning, so hopefully levels are coming through okay, and the mix is somewhat balanced, hopefully. All right, folks, hanging in there with you, or hanging out with you here for another about 5 minutes. Thanks so much for joining. Sometimes the Sunday moves around a little bit, so I always try to get the announcement out as soon as I possibly can. But yeah, keep an eye out, the night before, and keep your notifications on, stuff like that. Um, so, um, so yeah, but typically I'm aiming for two. But today we've got a little bit of a gathering in the afternoon. So let's see. A flat, melodic, minor, imposing G7 before the C minor, C major. So yeah. Yeah, so let me think. C minor to the C major from C major. Yeah, I mean, you can, let's see. Yeah, you can definitely do that. Yeah, definitely. From C major. Yeah. Yep, definitely. So that's known as the altered scale on a G7. If folks are wondering about that. So that's going to create, quite a bit of tension over into the C minor. Another way you can think of that is as a D flat, Lydian dominant, if that's easier. Okay, got question from Jesse. Currently playing around with borrowing chords from major and minor keys. Do you have any suggestions for mixing the chords to get a pleasant sound? Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of interesting what you can kind of do. And one thing you might work with there is chromatic mediants, or simply mediants. But so if you go up, let's say we're on C, and you go to a mediant, let's say typically in the key, that would be E minor. But if you want to do a chromatic mediant, then you do get that kind of minor shift, right, to E flat major. Kind of makes the tonality suddenly sound like it's minor. So that's definitely a very pleasant sound, I would say, if you're after that. And you can do that lower down. So you can say, okay, a submediant would be A minor. So chromatic submediant would be A flat. It's a very pleasant sound. Absolutely. A nice tune that you might find to play around with that is Triste. So you might try that in key of B flat. Right. And that does play around with other, chromatic mediants, because we end up with the D major. So that's probably the best thing to do is study and transcribe songs like Triste, which use that a lot, and really a lot of tunes by Jobim. I think you'll find that. But yeah, it's an interesting kind of thing because you can go to the parallel minor, C major, let's say, and then start using chords from its parallel minor, right? C minor. So then all of a sudden, all these other chords are available to you. All right. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me today. Really appreciate it. It's cold, cloudy here on the East Coast. And I feel a little groggy, honestly. So hopefully I kept my energy up for you and make this a little entertaining. And a little bit of playing on some things with some backing tracks and stuff. Make sure if you haven't already, to like and subscribe, follow the channel, check out my resources in the description down below, and join our email list for sure. I'm not sure, I think it's listed in the description down below. You can take my foundations course, which I made many years ago, but I think it's a really valuable resource for just kind of unlocking the fingerboard, getting to know the fingerboard and key centers and stuff like that. So check that out. Get that free when you join the email newsletter. So just submit your email and then it kind of gives you the link straight away. And if you are ready, join our member area on the YouTube, or not the YouTube channel. Well, I do have a slight membership on the YouTube, but I'm putting, all of my content out on my website, preference.com, for members, and you can do a free trial there to check it out. All right, folks, we'll see you in the next one. Hope you all enjoy your practice session, enjoy your Sunday. I'll see you next time.